Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ananda Priyanti. I'm from class C 2018. And today I'm going to presenting my mini proposal about improving speaking skill using small discussion group. For the outlines, in here I have 4 outline. The first is background and research questions, research objective, and research methodology. For the first is background of study. Speaking is first of the 4 basic skills in teaching and learning English as a foreign language in extensions to listening, reading, and writing. And speaking is a collective process of create meaning that implicates producing and receiving and transform informations. In speaking process between a speaker and listener, it is happen communication between them. They use the language as the intermediate of the speaking in that communications. Speaking like that, learners not only know how to build specific points of language such as grammar, pronunciations, and vocabulary is not all there is to successful communications. As we have seen, it is actually possible to produce a list of ungrammatical pronouncements that success in approve someone else know what is on our mind. But also they understand when, why, and in what ways to build the language. Speaking is actually relevant to be on to students. By mastering the skills, they will be able to bring their plan in English and have a certainty to express it when facing native speakers. In matter, many undergraduate students are still low in speaking English. Based on interview with the teacher in MTSN Banjar Selatan 03 Banjarmasin, I found that the students was low in English speaking skill. Many students in MTSN 3 Banjarmasin still low in score or test in speaking. They were quiet in class. When the teacher awarded them question in English, they say in Indonesian. The weakness of speaking is caused by the students scared of making communication in teaching learning process. It also makes students scared of speaking their ideas even though they understand the materials because they do not want to take the agree of being loved for their friends. The more reason is because teaching learning technique and environment. And in situations when they speak English, they are scared of hearing public assumptions. In teaching learning strategy or technique, the teacher often use conventional strategy or technique when teaching in the class. In teaching speaking, the teacher usually adapt to the students' English book. The teacher teach them by asking the students to read the conversations in front of the class. These activities do not give any confidence to the students to express their ideas or feelings straight, and they cannot give any additions to make the students speak English constantly. Accordingly, the students are helped to improve their speaking ability and can be quiet in class. The more reason are less motivations to use the English in daily communications, and also the students too nervous and afraid to take part in the communications. The student is not certainly to speak English. Small group discussion is one example of the method in the education world. It is first of teaching strategies that can be concerned in teaching learning process because it is very effective in learning speaking. Small discussion group is one of teaching methods to improve language learning, intellectual achievement, and social skills by students' communications. This method is not only for fun but also calm but for educations. For this reason, I create a solution by implementing small group discussion as the effective way to help in teaching learning process in English, especially in speaking, and hopefully the students can understand and know more afraid in speaking. And the research questions, the the institutions of this problem in this research can be shortened as the follows. For the first, how is the process of learning speaking with small group discussion method? And is there any improvement on the student speaking ability by using small group discussions? For research objective, for the first is to know the process of learning speaking with small group discussion method and to find out the improvement on the student speaking ability by using small group discussions. And the last is research methodology. This research has tested by classroom actions. The subject of this study was students of MTS N3 Banjarmasin. The students of that class consist of 33 students. The subject was chosen because the students could not speak English well and do not know how to pronounce English correctly. So I chose this class because I accept that the students in the class need the improvement of their speaking ability. Before accept the research procedure, the researchers administrate the qualifications to get a research license from the school. Afterwards, the researcher analyzed the basic knowledge of the students in asking and giving opinion. The strategy of data collection was organized into cycles. In organizing the action research, there are 4 steps such as planning, actions, observations, and reflections. In this research, the data was collected by using quantitative data and qualitative data. In collective quantitative data, I was attended small group discussion test. The test was given in duration cycle 1 and cycle 2. The first is observations and the second is interview. This study collects qualitative and quantitative data. This qualitative data was analyzed by observation sheets and interview sheets. The quantitative data was analyzed data from calculate the score of speaking tests to know the progress of student score. The mean student score were calculated in order to know the categories of students' ability and the percentage of students who got score. 70 were calculated by using the institution as follows. I think that's enough from me. Thank you for attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.